The state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Right now at 6 o'clock, President Biden wrapped up his State of the Union address last night. We'll have a breakdown of some of the key takeaways from last night's speech.
Preparation for protection, how advocates in our state plan to keep people in Hartford safe after a rise in shootings, and why some people want to stop the plan in its tracks.
I didn't experience racism until I came to Cromwell.
A story you will only see here on Fox 61. Two high school students shed light on their experiences with intense bullying and racism. We'll tell you what Cromwell's mayor has to say about it.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Thanks for starting yours off with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you. Let's get right over to meteorologist Matt Scott so you can plan your day, plan your weekend. A lot going on.
Plan the weekend. It's a big weekend.
Yep.
Yes.
A parade weekend ahead. A lot of parades for as we get ready for St. Patrick's Day around here, which is not a one-day event, as you know. It's it's a season practically. And this weekend looks pretty good for some parades. But first, let's focus on today. Finally, the sun's out. A lot of it today. Going to be beautiful. Weekend starts dry. Hartford parade will be fine. There is a big rainmaker coming in, though, Saturday night. We'll talk about that coming up. The satellite radar picture is quiet. I love today. Mild temperatures getting into the mid-50s. Already into the upper 30s across the board. 37 in Hartford, 39 in New Haven, 38 in Groton. Heading out today, you got nothing to worry about. Bus stop forecast for the high schoolers, 37 now. Look at this, 53 later on. With a few clouds that will continue to increase as we go into the evening and overnight period. But again, it stays dry till Saturday evening. A lot of rain coming. We'll talk about that. Have a look at the 7-day forecast that's coming up in a little bit. 6:02, first time this morning. First time on a sunny morning this week.
Yes.
Say hello to Rachel Piscatelli.
So excited. Trade those windshield wipers for those sunglasses and putting your visor down this morning, and I certainly think we'll take it. We still have a flood warning in effect for areas in the Connecticut River, and that is causing a road closure this morning over in Portland. Route 17A, Meadow Road. There is water over the roadway this morning, so a portion of that is closed. So if you typically travel in this area, definitely just want to seek an alternative route at this point. Of course, we'll keep you posted when that changes. Over in New Haven now, out by Long Wharf, we have light volume. We'll take a look at your state line drive times. New Haven to New York, it's a nice 52-minute drive. Waterbury to New York is just under an hour. Back to you.
Well, President Biden took a forceful tone in last night's State of the Union address.
He addressed a lot of the key issues on Capitol Hill right now, while also appealing to Americans for another term in office. Fox 61's Keith McGilver is breaking down the Commander-in-Chief's address.
President Biden offered a positive assessment about the United States.
The state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
But warned the country faces a lot of challenges.
Freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time.
Biden touted his accomplishments in infrastructure, manufacturing, and the economy. He delivered a sharp warning to Russian leader Vladimir Putin, saying the U.S. will not bow down to him. He called on Congress to send him an aid bill for Ukraine. He said the U.S. will build a pier in the Mediterranean Sea to increase aid to Gaza, and warned Israel not to use aid as a bargaining chip in its war with Hamas. He said the only solution to the war in Gaza is a two-state solution.
There is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity.
Biden broke from his speech and engaged with Republicans when he brought up the bipartisan border bill.
The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing.
In the GOP response, Alabama Senator Katie Britt said Biden's border policies fueled the problems there today.
He suspended all deportations, he halted construction of the border wall, and he announced a plan to give amnesty to millions.
Biden used his speech as a push for re-election, saying he wants to work on gun restrictions, voting rights, and reproductive freedom.
Those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
Fritz said Biden is out of touch with the American people.
I just wish he understood what real families are facing around kitchen tables just like this one. Because the truth is, we're all worried about the future of our nation.
Biden said he's never been more optimistic about the future and wants all Americans to build that future together.
And that was Keith McGillivray reporting. Here's what elected officials on both sides of the aisle here in Connecticut had to say. Governor Ned Lamont said that he applauds Biden's agenda. In a statement, he said Biden presented a clear and achievable plan to strengthen our economy and ensure a fair shot at the American dream for all Americans. I commend his commitment to uniting our country and working in a bipartisan manner for the good of our nation. Connecticut Republican Party Chairman Ben Proto called Biden's presidency a failure. In a statement, he said, in Biden's America, most people are living paycheck to paycheck, and our middle class is destroyed. While Democrats ignore these facts, Republicans remain motivated to reverse this frightening trend and restore economic prosperity to our great nation.
Well, here in Hartford, people who live on Garden Street said they might see armed people walking the area starting tomorrow. That's because a group of advocates plans to start patrols to try to deter violence after there were several shootings there in recent months. This flyer says the group will begin with a community cleanup with local volunteers, as well as an information session on how to obtain a gun permit and to gather Cornell Lewis's self-defense brigade to start their community watch. Now, there's no word on if the group wants to make this a permanent block watch or whether it'll just be at certain times. Reverend Dexter Burke, who's helping to organize the group, said there have been far too many shootings on Garden Street in the past year and that it's time for something to be done. He told us their goal is to clean up the community and that they welcome the support from anyone who wants to join those efforts.
They'll do two things. One, they will help to serve as a deterrent to those who are breaking the law. And two, they're going to bring a cultural sensitivity to the streets that law enforcement are not able to do presently. And I think that will work. We're not trying to bring them in to kill the folks in the street.
Well, Burke said at least 25 people have signed up to be a part of the block watch. They also hope to install cameras in the area. They said they also want 2 bodegas closed to try to deter criminals from hanging out there. Now, the group Mothers United Against Violence held a meeting last night. They say they disagree with this proposal. That organization said putting more guns on the streets will only create more danger. Hartford's Mayor Arunan Arulampalam also criticized the idea of armed citizens patrolling the streets, saying it could just cause more trouble.
Today, the lawyers for State Trooper Brian North get their chance to present their case to the jury. Prosecutors rested their case yesterday after calling a state trooper and a medical examiner to the stand. The state trooper testified that he saw Mubarak Suleiman reach for a knife inside the stolen car that he was driving in January 2020. He said this happened after a taser had no effect on Suleiman. North shot Suleiman at that point, firing 9 bullets. The medical examiner testified about the autopsy on Suleiman's body.
The cause of death was gunshot wounds of torso and extremities.
And how about the manner of death?
The manner of death was homicide.
North is on trial for Suleiman's death. Suleiman's family testified that he had struggled with mental health issues for years. Michelle Draconis and her lawyer are making a case for acquittal in her trial over the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos. Her lawyer filed 2 motions. One says that her conviction should be thrown out because the state did not present sufficient evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. And the other motion lists 22 reasons that Draconis should get a new trial. For now, she remains locked up at the York Correctional Institution in Niantic.
All right, now to a story you'll only see here on Fox 61. 2 high school students said they had to switch school districts to get away from bullies only to experience bullying and racism in their new school district. Anya and Asaya Garrett are 15-year-old twins. They said they had to leave the Hartford school system and come to Cromwell, where they go to Cromwell High. But they both said Cromwell's been worse.
We got messages from unknown numbers that would send us like KKK GIFs. I had a poster which only said, like, remember George Floyd, remember the people that have passed away from police brutality. And when I had gone on the bus, a whole bunch of high schoolers, they didn't like it. So they ended up throwing food at me and my sibling. They threw pencils at us. They told some other kid, hit the darkest one. And when we started getting off the bus, kids were threatening to kill my family.
Well, Anya and Asaya said they tried speaking up, but they claimed school administrators didn't act and in some cases even blamed them. However, after posting on social media about the bullying, the girls caught the attention of Cromwell's mayor, who's now working with the school district to make changes.
We cannot allow an environment to continue where students feel isolated, alone, and prejudiced against. And if these two students are feeling this way, that means there's plenty of other students that are being silenced.
The mayor said he's been in contact with the superintendent and will follow up with them and state lawmakers. The twins, by the way, also had a message for any students who are watching right now out there who are being bullied. They said, stand up and speak out. They said, you're not alone and you are powerful.